Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope y'all are doing great. I am doing okay. Today we're going to be doing one of my favorite things I like to do, make a book. It's going to be a step-by-step book, though it will not be like a look, we finish it. So I'm using some paper from this 100-piece 5.5 by 8.5 paper from cardstock warehouse that I usually get from Tuesday morning. So I am one of those people, if I see like 3 or 4 of these, I'll grab all 3 or 4 of them because I know that I'm going to use them eventually. I haven't seen them in a while. I did see these at Ross for I think $2.99. I was like, I could probably get them cheap at Tuesday morning. I'm not sure if that's a true statement anymore. I have pulled out 3 sheets and they do come pre-scored. You can rescore them if you like. And I am going to take a walk on the wild side and not do that. Now, what I would tell you is that it's totally up to you if you decide to score it again or not score it again. My little ephemera pieces, just kind of dangling. I thought it'd be really fun to have clutter, but cutesy clutter on my desk for the month of February. At least to the 14th. But I'm not sure about that. So there we go. We've folded these over, and when you see the paper that I'm going to be using, you're going to think that someone has taken over my brain because it's one of my all-time favorite. I'm just rescoring these edges. All-time favorite papers, not the brand. I like the brand, but one of my all-time favorite papers. So then you just glue these together. I do prefer glue over tape because I feel like glue lasts longer, especially if you use a pretty decent glue. If you use tape, make sure it's like really good tape. Good tape. So now all we have now are 3 cards that we're stacking on each other. It's so funny. I was making these for a while, right? Because I like to make flip books. I like to make cheater flip books. Some people take scrapbooking paper and fold it and connect it with washi tape, etc. I tried that, but washi tape and and I plan on trying to use some today, but washi tape and I are not the best of buddies. Like, I use it because I'm like, I spent this money on it, but I would never, now, knowing what I know now, I would never just trust myself with just some plain old Dollar Tree washi tape, or even Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Maybe the Duck brand washi tape because that's a little bit more thicker, but still I wouldn't trust myself with it. So now that we got this glued down, over time the glue is going to cure. It's fine. And you can add as many of these little pages as you want. I always count these, even though I make these quite often. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. You need 8 pages. Okay. I'm just going to burnish this down some more. And so we're going to be using this Graphics 45 by the Sea. This paper pad says 2014. I don't recall if I ever saw it at Tuesday morning ever. So we're going to go with this blue color versus this. I will tell you now, I do enjoy oddities of the sea, but that's all. Like I don't know if it's still out, but it was a show called Oddities, something Oddities, right? I used to watch that show like it was the best thing in the whole world. It was pretty interesting to see what people would bring in. Now I'm not a big fan of odd things of like, fingers and stuff like that, but it's pretty dang cool to see. Now we will be using some glue on here. If you don't want to use glue on your project, then don't use the glue. Use something else. We're also going to be using, oh my goodness, Come Away With Me. It's a travel one. I thought I had grabbed my Voyage Beneath the Sea one, but apparently I didn't. As I stated earlier, I rarely use my Graphic 45 nautical paper. Some of the Graphic 45 I'm just like, eh. But the nautical paper, I'm like, no. Oh, that's got stamps on the back. We'll have to figure that out. But I'm pulling out the papers with you just so you know, if you're crafting with me, you'll have some fluff in between there. Oh, this is a good one too. Now, even though we pull out these whole sheets of paper, as I've told you all before, I am probably the worst scrap person there is. I make a lot of scraps. I'm also going to use this page right here for the front and back. Now, I don't recall who sheet of paper this is, but it's a realistic paper pad. So this will be our front. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to try and work the system a little bit with this paper, those, because they're 8x8s, and we need our paper to be a little under 4 1/4 and a little under 5 1/2. So we'll see how this works out. So I am going to trim down the first pages with you, and then I'll come back and we'll be ready to get started. So I am going to just go to the 4 1/4 mark right here. And I'm not too concerned about this front paper because I do plan on putting some stuff on the top of it, but I do want to make sure that it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I want this paper to be the exact same size as the card base because I am planning on covering that entirely up. And with the inserts or the insides, we do not want to have the paper the exact same size because we want our book to be able to open and close. So that is why I am going to try and work this 8x8 paper really quickly. So I'll show you what I mean. So right here, and I'm going to have to be at the bottom because this is torn at the top, but I'll show you. So our book is 4 1/4, right? The width of it is 4 1/4. Right here, if we would have cut 4 1/4 and we would have put all our 4 1/4 pages inside of here, they would be just like this. And they won't close properly. We'll have pages sticking out. So we just want to scoot it over. So right here's our 4 1/4. So, you know, in order to keep this paper, we can make these all 4 by 4 by 4. And we probably will just because I want to try my best to keep as much paper as possible. I want to use, not keep it, I want to use as much of this paper as possible. So I just made 4 inches, and now we're going to go 5 1/4. Because we want our paper to look proportionate. We don't want it to look like we didn't know what the heck we were doing, right? So here we go. It's going to be just like that. So all the pages will be framed or have some type of quote-unquote matte. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the papers and come back. So right here, I want to just discuss something really quickly. I like these two or three things in the paper, and I'm not too concerned. I even like this lady right here. She's really pretty, Little Mermaid lady, but she looks like the mermaids that I talked about all the time. If you've been here a while, you know, kind of scary. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of this down. You can do this. It makes it a lot easier. You have 2 cuts versus 3. 5 1/4. And see, I'm going to chop her off, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to just turn this over, and I'm going to go right here to 5 1/4. So I'm really going to make 3 cuts still. All right. Yep. This works out a lot better. And I can just turn this paper back around and cut on the line. I would not trust myself. You can trust yourself however you want. I would not trust myself to cut that first and try to measure off of that. I trust the paper company when they have these quote-unquote measurements and sizes in here a little bit better. But now I have my lady, I have my lighthouse, and I have my lady as well. She's on a few of the Graphic 45 designs, so that is always something if you're looking for it. And with this, I'm not too concerned about these maps. I'm going to do some other stuff with it. Now, I do hate to say bye-bye to those stamps, but that's okay. That is okay. So I'm throwing my paper trimmer. The track is probably dirty, so it has this little torn edges, and I'm okay with that because nautical, you know, once you get something that's been in the water by salt or whatever, over time the wear and tear kind of gives it more of a patina look to it, so that's fine. And now what we're going to do is what I like to do is put the pages together. My first page I want is this page because of the project I'm actually working on. And unfortunately, I don't want to use the back, but I will. So these are our pages, right? Our front and back pages. So this is page 1. When you first open the book, you'll see this page first. So I'm going to put that face down. And I'm just going to take a look on the back and see if any of these. Now I like this one, You Are My Anchor. So I like that. I'm not too upset if I lose the back. So this line is fine. And let's see, you know we're going to keep these because I made a big deal about it, right? And we're going to get rid of these stamps as well. So we got 1. And now, remembering I color our base card, which is this, we're going to go lines. I like to try to match mine up as best as possible and lead into another page. So we're going to go first front page. And then, so this will be the front page. And then we're going to go into, so we got lines and stars. And then we're just going to go here with her. So we have this mermaid lady. And then we go into this solid color. And I think what a good contrast this would be, right? So you're going to go from here, this page, to this page. Because I want to, yeah. So this will be this page on this side. And how ironic, we're going to just keep these together. So this will actually be the centerpiece. And normally I would put the centerpiece to be the same color. But I am, you know, taking a walk on the wild side. Taking a walk on the wild side. And I think we may have too many papers. And if that's the case, that is good. Good. So I think we're going to go here. I think, yeah. This one, then this, and then this. So let's see what we got going on. All right, so the maker of scraps has made a lot of scraps. I did not need one of the 8x8s, but that's okay. Because we can use this on a card or something, you know, a simple little card. So these are all our scraps for now that we have. And whenever I am making these, I always say, oh, can I make a pocket? Can I do this? Can I do that? I just put these to the side for now because we're getting ready to do some gluing. And again, I am going to be using Aleene's tacky glue because the graphic 45 paper is pretty thick. And I feel like it could hold its own. So now we're going to just go ahead, and this is where I always have to tell myself, you know, top, bottom, and front and back. So I feel like this, even though this doesn't matter, it's all solid. So this is how we're going to do this, and we'll do the back. And then, so let's go ahead and glue this on. Now, whenever you're doing this, I usually just take, because I usually make books for my Smash a Small Paper Pad, the collaboration that I'm participating in. I usually do it like that. But since, you know, someone asked me, do I have a tutorial or whatever, you know, I don't have a paper pad. I have another project that I'm working on. So if all goes well, you'll be seeing both of those projects in one, you know, all in one day. So now I'm just going to, with the Aleene's, I know a lot of us are crafters who like a specific type of glue. And that glue may be art glitter glue or whatever. But if you have Aleene's, it does dry fairly quickly, but it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. So you don't have to worry about stuff too much seeping out or whatever. I'm not going to do anything with the spine. So at the end, whenever I finish my projects, I'll go back and like kind of run my finger through or, you know, something. And if the spine is a little bit too loose, I'll stick in my fine tip applicator and run some glue down there. But other than that, I've decided I don't like the spines that I have been making in the past. And I think this is fine. As long as they're good to go, you know, you can always ring it up or put some embellishments and stuff on there. So I'm just going to burnish this all one direction. Wherever the glue seeped out, you know, we did a great job with that one. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the back on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the first page down together. And this is how it's going to be. just going to trim off some of these paper fibers. I'm okay with a few of them, but not when it looks like I just cut off my blue jeans and pulled them down and I'm selling them for $3,000, something like that. I don't like that. So we don't want that. Okay, I just want to make sure it looks pretty good. And yeah, this blue is going to do us justice. This is so pretty. This is a pretty color too. Looking at these blues on top of this blue, it looks more purpley. And I did have another color in there that looked even more blue, but I was like, that's purple. Maybe I grabbed the wrong one, but that's okay. I mean, it will be fine. No worries. No worries. And so now this is the spot that we want all of our papers to kind of line up on and in. Will that happen? Probably not, because you know we are human. But if you are really technical and you really want it to be precise, because maybe you feel like it won't look good, not precise, you can always get a ruler and measure it out. So right there, we put a little bit too much glue on there, but I'd rather too much glue on the edges than not enough. I do not really like going back in and sticking glue in those spots, but I have done it. We'll do it again. It won't be the first or the last time that happens. So we're just gonna do this one together, and hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about when I talk about the symmetry. And then what will happen is I will go ahead and do the rest on my own and come back and we'll do some decorating. This book will not be heavily decorated or anything like that, because the person that likes nautical stuff is myself, and other people like it, but they're more into like a specific thing from the ocean. Like maybe people like mermaids, and I like them, but I'm not like, oh, I have to have every mermaid ever created. I'm much more of a, oh, that's nautical. I like it as a whole versus one piece of it. I feel like all of the sea creatures create the beauty of the sea. So we can look at this and we can say, yep, she's off a little bit. Let's push it up just a scotch if we can. If not, it's okay. I'm just gonna push this glue right on out. Thankfully, this glue dries clear and not shiny. It dries matte, so you're not too concerned about that. If you are concerned about how your glue is going to dry, do not be like me. Don't go extra heavy. I'm just going to put this in, and this is what I'm talking about. I don't really care to do this during the process or at the end, but sometimes it's necessary for our mental brain. We're crafting. Some people are more technical in one area of their crafts than the other, so that's what we have to keep in mind. And so now you can see that it closes fine. There's nothing going to be in our spine, no gap, anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish putting these other papers in and come back and we'll get started on the decorating. Okay, so here we are. Our book is complete. That is that. And if you can see, it's not that much warping, and it's more warping on the back page because I think I went a little bit too brute force on the back than any of the other pages. If you have good quality double-sided paper, it can adjust for the water in the glue. That's going to make it, act a little crazy. Okay, so on the front cover, we're going to do some stenciling, and I'm using this Deco Art Urban Ink stencils. I got it from Tuesday Morning for $2 in 2018. Who knows how much the price is now, right? And we're going to be using this anchor right here. And I have some stickers. So we're going to try and do a few random crafts on one project. Now, basically the book tutorial portion is over, and Now it's time for decorating. So here we go. I don't really care much for washi tape, but you need something to stabilize it when you don't have good, when you're like me, you're like, oh, I know it's not going to work. So I am going to try and use this purple color right here. It is going to make my fingers, it's called lavender purple, right? It is going to give my fingers a hue as well. The only thing I can really do well with stenciling, because I'm not good at acrylic stenciling, is like ink stenciling on paper. I really enjoy it. I feel like I'm getting back at the acrylic, because I can't acrylic stencil yet, I guess you could say, because I haven't really given it a shot recently. But in general, I struggle with it. Just gonna rub some of that fresh ink right off of it. And we're just gonna go right back over this one more time. Okay, so I'm using this really pretty Hero Arts color layering. It's called the Color Layering Seahorse by Hero Arts that I got in some surprise wonderful mail from Deb Hoax Crafty Cottage here on YouTube. And it is a new stamp. So I did stamp it and ink it once, and I'm going to do it one more time. And it's not I stamped it uneven, so, but it's not, I don't think it's going to come off clear all the way, which is going to be great for us, because we wanted to do that because it's a sea themed, project, so we should be fine. Let's see. Wishing you oceans of joy right here. Right there. So that's how that looks. And I do think that I'm going to stop the video here and make a part 2, just so it's not super long. So I want to say thank y'all for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.